What's going on, metalheads? Death Metal Dave in your face here on MetalMessiahRadio.com. And hell yeah, I have Randy Kastner on the phone with me, the Blades of Steel Metal Fest owner, promoter, the guy that puts the shit on and spends his fucking money to bring you the metal up in Madison, Wisconsin. What's up, Randy?
How's it going, man?
Fuck yeah, man. We talked about this a couple of times over this past year about having you on, and here we are. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, we talked about this in Texas, and I think even when I was in Florida with the Siren guys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I saw you at the dinner or whatever we did. That was pretty cool. Fuck yeah. Hey, Randy, if you could, before we get into the Blades of Steel Metal Fest, tell us a little history about you and metal and how you got into this shit. And
I don't know, man. I was a young boy back in the 70s, and my father would play his 60s and 70s records on our stereo on Saturdays, and you just naturally started liking music. And then as time went on, I found things like Devo and The Clash and Kiss, and then eventually Twisted Sister and Rat, then Slayer, and then the rest is history.
Hell yeah. And how did you get into promoting? Were you ever in a band or anything, or did you just love metal? And then
I did some talent shows in high school. We scared the shit out of everybody. I remember that. It was pretty morbid. Everybody was out of control. The singer was screaming. They shut us off, man. It was great. We just scared the fuck out of everybody. It was awesome.
What did you do? What did you play at the time?
I tried to play a bass. I wasn't very good, but I had a silver painted bass, so I just took it, and we just wanted to do what we wanted to do, and it was pure chaos.
Hell yeah. So what got you into promoting and so on?
Well, about 16 years ago now. And I did some shows in the early 90s when I was real young with like local bands here and there, helped out, did them. But I don't know, about 15, 16 years coming out of a divorce, I didn't really know what to do myself, and I started hanging out with my sister, Nikki, who actually lives down in Clearwater now.
Oh, cooler.
And her boyfriend, Scott, I started hanging out with them again, and I always noticed the same three bands playing, it seemed, all the time, and I'm like, this sucks, you know? So I just, a little bit at a time, man. I think my first, like, major band was Waco Jesus, and all they wanted was a couple $100 in a deli tray.
Nice.
And then I think the next show was like Witch Haven from LA, and it just after a while morphed into all kinds of shit. From like 2014 to 2017, I definitely had a lot of the heavy hitters, Possessed, Amorphous, Destruction, you know, a lot of stuff was coming up here. Voivod, Metal Church twice, Grim Reaper a couple times. And then everything was going pretty well, and then COVID hit and shut everything down.
Yeah. Sure did.
But I mean, I was successful for the most part with 10 festivals under the old name. You know, I did things that I never thought I would do as a young kid, much less know there'd still be metal 40 years later, you know?
Yeah, man, it's grown so much since we were kids, and is exactly it. And fuck yeah, I was in bands, and then I jumped into radio and TV a little bit, and then that's how I just do this now, and I do a bunch of shit in the scene, behind the scenes, and try to boost my friends and metal, period. But, okay, enough about me. We're still talking about you. So here we are, Blades of Steel Metal Festival 4. Can you run down the list of bands and tell us a little bit, just a brief bit about each band and maybe where they're from?
Yeah, I'm fairly well versed in where these cats are all from for the most part.
First of all, I gotta give you kudos, man. This is such an eclectic lineup. I love it, man. I love festivals, and I love festivals that have different styles of metal, because I love all metal. So, and to focus on one metal, I don't know. That's not always the answer, you know?
No, I come from the 80s, grew up in the heyday when things were beginning. You know, I started going to shows 1985, and then it got real heavy in 86 and 87, and it really hasn't stopped a whole lot. So I just keep on going with it. But I don't know. I've been through a lot of the different styles as they were coming in and coming up. So
Yeah.
you like. I still like Rat and Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
I just don't listen to it as much.
Right.
With early Metallica, Voivod, Dark Angel. Later on you started discovering like pulp metal bands like Medieval Steel from Tennessee or Siren from Florida or just whoever. Nasty Savage was up here about 6-7 years ago. So, you just find everything. And then when you go to the European festivals or the cruise, you really start finding more bands that you never heard of or barely heard of,
Right.
So at 53 years of age, I still like discovering new things I've never heard or
me
just
too.
coming up. It just, I wouldn't have it any other way, So, the lineup this year, yeah, it is kind of weird and odd, but who cares, I just do what I want to do. I never really wanted to be like everybody else's fest with the same bands, although some bands will cross paths on different fests, there's nothing you can do about that, but I just like to do things my way. And if people like it, cool. If they don't, well, screw them too,
Exactly. Fuck off. That's what I always say.
A lot of people like to talk, but they never walk the walk. They never put their money where their mouth is, but yet they'll complain about like where a band's playing on the lineup or what day. It's like, just shut the hell up, Yes. If you can do better, I will buy 2 tickets to any festival just to prove my point,
Yeah, and you do go to festivals. I can vouch for that for sure.
Yeah. I just got back from San Antonio the other day. Dismember from Sweden played down there with Marbostad and a whole shit ton of bands.
Yeah, I think
Whiplash. Yeah, Nasty Savage was there. Whiplash, Monstrosity, Militia. Just a lot of bands. It was cool. Like 20 some bands over 2 days. So we had a good time. Texas was hot, definitely hot.
So tell us a little bit about each band that's on the festival.
All right. On Thursday night, we have Night Demon. They started out around 2013 in Ventura, California. I seen their first like out of state show at the old Ragnarocker Fest in Chicago when they were brand new. And on that lineup that year, Grim Reaper, Pitcher, I believe Eternal Champion, Visigoth, they were all unknown bands, and I think Riot came back too after Mark died. It was a great fest, probably one of the better ones they did. So that's how we met Night Demon. Nervosa from Brazil. I believe I did a show 9 years ago on a tour that they did when they first came to the States. Lich King, I believe, is New Jersey area somewhere. I know Mike in the band pretty well. He was living in Minnesota for a while. Maniacal Force is from Minnesota. Hatred, everybody should know who Hatred is.
Zetro's Sons.
Yeah, exactly, man. And great dudes. I've seen them a few times when they've been through the area, and I had to have them on the fest. And it just so happened when the Neurosa tour was being built last year, they were included. I'm like, perfect, And then the opening band, Tundra, they're from Ohio. And one of the guys in the band, his dad is Dave Overkill from Destructor.
Nice.
So they're a new band, and I needed an early band, and I wanted to give the young kids a shot, at least to start, and then they can do whatever after this, You just try to cultivate the next generation and give them a little platform, and what they do with it is what they do with it.
Killer.
Friday night, Stirreth on Go is on their last tour run, from what I've been told and what they've been saying. So somehow, some way, we got the final Midwest show. There's no Chicago show, no Detroit show, or anything like that. So if you want to see them in the Midwest, come to Madison, Wisconsin on next Friday, August 30th. Aether Realm, I believe they're from the North Carolina area. They're a newer, like, power metal type band. Pretty cool. Dexter Ward, they're from Greece, and one of the guys is from Italy, and the guitar player in the band is the Up the Hammers organizer, Manulis. Ethereal Latel is a band from Santiago, Chile. They played at Hell's Heroes when we were down there, and they did a few like West Coast shows early this year, so we had to have them up here too. Storm Rulers out of St. Louis. They've been on tours with Dark Funeral and probably Belphegor, bands of that ilk,
Right.
for a few years. Sanhedrin, they're a New York City band. Queen of Dreams is local. They replaced Lady Beast, who had to drop off a few months ago. And then the opening band is out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Blind Old. They're relatively new. And one of their songs, they have Tim Baker from Surf on Gold singing on it. So another band that's newerish, and I wanted to have something different and give a chance to, you know?
Right, yeah.
And then the Saturday lineup is really out of hand. Yeah, Leeds Lord is the headliner. Everybody should know who they are. I've seen them at Keep It True again with Bobby, as a fact. Matter of fact, a few months ago. Exhorters on the bill. I think they played exactly one show in the state of Wisconsin a few years ago, and it's been it for a long time. Killer Dwarfs, 80s hard rock out of Toronto. They played my birthday party a couple years ago on their way to a big festival in northern Minnesota. It was a great time.
Yeah.
They were still pretty much on fire. They were good. Grave Ripper is a band. I believe they're out of Indiana, Ohio area, and they're new, up and coming. A lot like Wraith. You know who Wraith is from that area.
Yeah.
Bray Road, local heroes here, buddies of mine. Telemyras, I found them by accident, really. Going through YouTube, because you're always finding new stuff, and I checked them out, and then Darren from Greyhawk put a word in for them, and you know, they decided they want to come, so they're going to play. Bloodstar, unfortunately, had to drop off because Maddie got into an accident a few weeks ago camping.
Oh, shit.
So we replaced them with local heavy hitters, Yotuma. They're an up-and-coming, very active death metal band out of Madison, Wisconsin area. Treason, they're out of Kentucky. I found them by accident, too, just digging through YouTube and, you know, digging through the music. And I kind of dug this raw sound, and it reminded me a lot like Diamond Head. So I reached out to them, got a cassette tape, and popped them on the bill, you know. So that's that. And then Old Spirit's a local band here. They actually don't even really have a live band until now. I think they played exactly one show with a full band, but they're pretty solid. And then the bonus band of the weekend is I Hate God. They're going to finish off the fest last, and everybody knows who that is. So no need to explain them.
Hell yeah. Fuck
and
yeah.
That should be all 24 bands. It's a 3-day fest, 18-plus show. The venue's killer. The airport, the venue, and the hotels are all within 2.5 miles from each other. So if anybody out there in this show wants to just get up and go, it's very easy to get around. We can get you figured out where you need to go. And there's like record shops, breweries, everything's here in this town. It's actually pretty nice. The venue's killer. There's a big backstage area for the bands. There's a sidebar area, so if you want to get away a little bit from the show, we'll have merch vendors, band stuff, a couple food trucks, and there's a smoking area in one section outside too. So it's got everything you could need. Now all we need is more people, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So fuck yeah, man. I love doing these specials because I do learn about bands I've never heard before, you know, and it's fucking cool, man. I love hearing about new music like you spoke about a minute ago. Fuck yeah. I'm always looking for new music.
I constantly run across things just by accident, you know? It's like, whoa, what is this, you know? Or even a guy like you, if you post something and I just happen to see it and I never heard of it, well, shit, I'm going to check it out, you know?
Yeah. And that's cool. Some people might not like some of the things that I listen to, but that's me, you know, like you said, I grew up in the 80s to now. So and right here in Huntsville, Alabama, where I was at, was like a metal hardcore crossover, believe it or not, in the South, 2 hours south of Nashville. And, but when I moved to Tampa, it was the death metal explosion, but it was also Savatage and Nasty Savage, land.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So my love for metal is all around all over the fucking place. And yours is too. That's why I love this fucking fest. It's fucking killer, man. And
it's been independent. Everything I've ever done the last 14, 15 years under the Old Fest name and this name has been 99% done by me. Booking the flights for bands, running orders, hotels. I get a lot of help from my crew, like the very week of the fest. But otherwise, everything's on me. The bills, everything. It's the one-man show mostly.
That's a lot of shit to do, man. If anybody's ever been a part of touring, period, or booking a local show, imagine booking 24 fucking national bands, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's not easy. A lot of the other festivals, they're great. They're awesome. I've been to most of them. But, they have people for all that. I'm just a one-man show. I can't afford to pay everybody for everything. So I'm lucky enough to have some friends that will help me with artwork. My friend Lauren made the t-shirt design this year. I got my crew that always helps me out with stage stuff. The venue's pretty helpful too. You just kind of gotta go and adapt to things. When things change, you adapt. You just keep right on going. I think I've always had the more unique festivals, even though some bands will cross over to other deals. Hell, I had Bobby out here, so that should tell you something.
Yeah, Attacker.
Yeah, Attacker kills, man. I went out there like 6 years ago to see Iron Angel, and Mr. Sabatini was there, so it was a good time, man. I didn't even tell him I was coming. I just come.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, Randy, I appreciate you joining us here, and hopefully at least a couple of people listening will say, fuck, I should go to this fucking festival.
Well, these kind of festivals only make it because of the people. I'm not rich, but I do work a hell of a lot of hours to make this happen.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to be working the next year to pay off debt. That would really suck.
Exactly.
But somehow we get pretty close. Sometimes we lose. Sometimes we win, but it isn't very often.
Right.
But
it's
everybody who comes is pretty well, they know what I do, and they seem to enjoy it.
And you do it for the love of the music, the metal.
It's either that or I just like to spend my money on stuff.
Right? All right, brother. I appreciate you joining us, and we'll get on to some more fucking Blades of Steel Metal Fest bands. I'm going to have Lich King, Treason, and with a Z, Manacle Force, and Tundra is the next set.
Yep, right on.
Fuck yeah. Thanks, Randy. I appreciate it, brother.
Thanks for your time, Dave, and I hope to see you down the road again. It was, I've seen you, twice this year, Hell's Heroes and MDF, huh?
Yes, sir. And you may see me again later sometime this year.
No, it happens.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right, see ya. All right. This set, thank you, Randy, for joining us. Fuck yeah. Awesome dude right there. Spending his hard-earned money on metal just for the love of it, bitches.